South Jersey's play-by-play home for the Eagles,
Touchdown!
Sixers,
It's good!
and Flyers.
Oh, big save by Carter Hart.
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Now, live from the Matt Black Kia Studios.
What a move!
Here's Josh Hennig.
Phillies are winning on a Hump Day Wednesday edition of Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Josh Hennig hanging out with you on a Wednesday night. Phillies up 5-0 in the top of the sixth, and they're threatening with a one-man on and two outs, and JT Realmuto at the plate. And they just walked Realmuto to put two men on. So after last night, the Phillies got smashed by the Padres. They're winning the game tonight. And I mean, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I said they should put Alec Bohm in that two-hole. I was really mad they put Castellanos in the two-hole last night. And look at this game. They're winning this game. You know, this is what happens, Phillies, when you actually don't put 20 million lefties in a row. I mean, they had, 3-4 lefties in a row last night? I hate that. Absolutely hate it. More respectable lineup today. Phillies are winning the game. I know there's more to it than that. We will get into it this hour here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. It's a Weinberg Wednesday. Dave Weinberg will join us coming up at 6:20 today. We are back to the Weinberg Wednesday schedule for the fall season. As always, you can join the conversation at 609-403-0973. That is the text board. And to stick with the Phillies for a moment before we get to the Eagles, you know, you look at the Phillies, they are a team that I know frustrates people a lot because you see the way they lost the game last night. And it felt like they never had a chance in that game. So I get how there are people out there who look at a game like last night and they say, this team is ridiculous. I mean, Ben Davis mentioned about a gazillion times about all the walks that Avila had last night. I think he had, 6 walks last night? And Davis kept mentioning, how can they be losing after all these walks? You know, and I thought Patalico made a great point on the postgame when he said, it doesn't matter how many walks. What matters is the Phillies just didn't make good hits. They didn't have good at-bats. And they're playing much better today. Now, granted, they just left 2 men on in the top of the sixth, let the bases loaded in the first inning. So the issue with runners in scoring position is still a problematic thing. So that has not necessarily been fixed at this point. But you do know, at least for a certainty, that this Phillies team, when they put it all together, they're a very good baseball team. And I think a game like today shows you why. It's because when you have a guy like Zach Wheeler out there, when Zach Wheeler's playing well, it's hard to contend with that. It's hard to push back against that. Zach Wheeler may not be a Cy Young front runner, but you could still argue he's one of the 10 best pitchers in all of baseball. You can make that argument. And when you go into the postseason with this version of Zach Wheeler, you have a very strong opportunity to win games. And I think that for the Phillies, looking down the stretch of the season, last night you saw basically the worst of what the Phillies have to offer. The worst being Lorenzen. Not that Lorenzen's a horrible pitcher, but I think that, as has been brought up multiple times on the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN, Mike Gill and multiple guests have talked about how after that first 2 amazing starts from Lorenzen, he's never been the same. And if he's never been the same ever since those 2 starts, it's fair to say that you can't expect Lorenzen to go into the postseason and be anything more than just another arm. And they're showing on the screen right now in the game that Zach Wheeler now has had 3 straight starts of 3 earned runs or less. 10 strikeouts in the last 2 and 6 strikeouts in this one. It's just another example of how Zach Wheeler when he has it all figured out, he is one of the best. And I know the Padres are not a good team record-wise this year, but they still have a lot of studs in that lineup. The Padres still have guys like Soto and Machado, and Kim is having a very good year. You could argue that the Padres offensively have the hitters that should make anybody worry. The problem with them is they were so inconsistent through the whole year. It buried them in behind the standings, and that's why they're basically, barring the greatest run in September history of baseball, they're not making the playoffs. Because right now they are 4 games behind the Giants, and the Giants are 2.5 games out of the final wild card spot. So the Padres are basically, DOA at this point, postseason wise. But guess what? They are still a team that can go out there. They can be dangerous. And for Zach Wheeler to have this kind of start just shows you the quality of pitcher he is. And it gives you a little bit of hope, a little bit of faith that, the Phillies are what their record says they are. The old Bill Parcells axiom, you are what your record says you are. Well, the Phillies are a 76-62 team. They are a team that has a lot of talent. And you know what? They can survive this schedule for however long they are without Trea Turner. Okay, Trea Turner on paternity leave. I told you guys yesterday here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. I anticipate Trea Turner would be back at some point in the Marlins series because that series is back at home. Thursday is a day off, and then the Phillies have the Marlins for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then the Braves for 4 games next week. So I anticipate Trea Turner will be back before that Braves series. God willing, there's no complication with the pregnancy or anything. I haven't seen any reports about that, but I'm assuming everything's all good. So my working assumption is that Trea Turner might be back in the lineup Friday or Saturday. So with that being said, you still are going to be arguably full power heading into the Braves series. And then once the Braves series is done, you really only have one series of consequence the rest of the year. You got a series against the Cardinals, series against the Mets, Pirates, and the Mets again. You're not playing any more really difficult teams. Then you have the one series against the Braves in Atlanta, and that's it. So this is a great time for the Phillies to kind of, I don't want to say hit cruise control, but maybe find their groove, get in a nice little rhythm heading down the stretch of the season. 609-403-0973 is the text board. Jeff in Ocean City chimes in over on the text board, says, including today's game, the Phillies have scored 48 runs over the last 8 games, but they've also allowed 48 runs over the last 8. Well, I think that's one of those stats I think doesn't tell the whole story. We could always find stats to support different sides of an argument. I think what's being overlooked in that, Jeff from Ocean City, is that you mentioned the last 8 games, all right? So you have these 3 games against the Padres, you have the 3 games against the Brewers, and then the last 2 games against the Angels. Well, if you factor in the last 2 games against the Angels, you're excluding the 6-4 win they had on Monday. So what you're doing is you're going with the 12-7 game, then the 10-8 loss, then the 2-7-5 losses. Well, that doesn't really tell the story of the Phillies season to me. I'm not going to sit here and take an 8-game sample size and make it as an indictment against the Phillies personally. You lost 8-0 last night. You're winning 5-0 today. You lost 7-5 2 straight games. That in and of itself is going to make that number look a little more extreme. If you go over the Phillies' entire season, the Phillies have a plus 65 run differential this year. The only teams with a better run differential than the Phillies are the Braves, not surprising. The Cubs, a little surprising. The Dodgers, not surprising. Padres, little surprising. Padres have a 3-run differential better than the Phillies. They're 68, you're 65. And that's because the Padres have guys like Blake Snell in their starting rotation. Blake Snell is the favorite, apparently, to win the National League Cy Young. I didn't know that until Mike Gill told me that yesterday. My pick would have been Justin Steele of the Cubs, but I digress. Either him or Gallen over in Arizona. But hey, Blake Snell is having a greght year. I know Darvish, before he went on the injured list, he was having a great year as well. So I'm not going to take the last 8 games as an indictment of the Phillies. I think that on the year, when you have a plus 65 run differential, that's a pretty good sign. And when there's only 3 potential playoff teams with a better run differential than you, I think that says that, at that point, you look at the Braves, they scored 795 runs this year, and the Dodgers have scored 765 runs. I mean, those are monster offenses. Realistically, the Cubs have only scored about 40 more runs than you this year. So if you take out the fact that the Phillies offense was pitiful in the months of, basically late April to early June, when they had that hot streak in June, it wasn't a great month offensively. That was a great month pitching wise. So I'm assuming that if you were to get a better Phillies offense in April and May, Bryce Harper's healthy. Trea Turner doesn't start out, doesn't have that huge, lull in the middle of the year. Things like that. I think it's certainly a possibility that you probably have scored more runs this year. So I think you got to have context for these things. I'm not going to sit here and condemn the Phillies for, the last 8 games. Over the last 10 games, the Phillies have a 6-4 record. We gonna hate on them for that? No, I think that right now you lost the Brewers series. That was frustrating. But you can basically salvage this Padres series here by winning this game. You win that series. You win the series against the Marlins. And if you win 2 straight series against 2 teams, at worst, you're going to be, 4-2? Over that 6-game stretch? That's still pretty good. So I'm not going to get too upset about the last 8 games. 609-403-0973 is the text board. Before we hit the breaks, we have Dave Weinberg for this week's edition of Weinberg Wednesday coming up in about 6 minutes from now. Before we hit the break, I did want to bring up one point. And that is, when you look at this game coming up this Sunday, I do have one concern with the Phillies matchup with the Patriots, and that's this. I think that there is a genuine concern to be had about your first game of the year against Bill Belichick. You gave Bill Belichick an entire offseason, the game plan against your team. You gave Bill O'Brien his first game, allowing him to game plan an entire summer against your team. And I just have to wonder, are we not factoring that in enough? Are we not factoring in enough that Bill Belichick, with time to prepare, maybe he's not as elite record-wise as Andy Reid is, but I do think that there is a part of me, as I was telling Chris Franklin yesterday, that wonders, do we concern ourselves at all that there's a possibility that this game is going to be a lot closer and a lot tighter than maybe some people are thinking it might be? We'll ask Dave Weinberg about that next, coming up here on Game Night with me, Josh Hennig, on 97.3 ESPN FM and 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle.
The 2023 Eagles season is here, and this is your radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football. It's week 1 as the Eagles head to New England this Sunday to take on the Patriots.
And then he's sacked! Brandon Graham!
Eagles radio network coverage begins at 3 p.m. Maryland Mike call all the action starting at 4:25. This is South Jersey's official home for Philadelphia Eagles football. 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station.
Don't miss the Atlantic City In-Water Boat Show. 4 days only. September 7th to the 10th at the Golden Nugget Marina. Free self-parking, live entertainment. Kids under 12 are free. Buy advanced discount tickets at acinwaterboatshow.com.
Join Macy's and our nonprofit partners to help address the youth mental health crisis this school year. Now through September 14th, you can fund mental health services and resources when you donate online to the JED Foundation and the National Alliance on Mental Illness, or round up your Macy's store purchase up to 99 cents and donate the extra change. Give back today and learn more about our mission to create brighter futures for all at Macys.com/purpose.
Opioid overdose is a serious crisis, but with naloxone, there is hope. Whether it's prescription painkillers or illicit drugs, naloxone can be the difference between life and death. With just a simple nasal spray, this easy-to-use medication can quickly stop an overdose in its tracks. Naloxone is free, anonymous, does not require a prescription, and can be obtained by anyone 14 or older. Visit stopoverdoses.nj.gov to learn how you can get naloxone at a participating pharmacy. A message from the New Jersey Department of Human Services.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text PLACE to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text PLACE to 200-300 right now. Text the word PLACE to 200-300. Don't wait. Text PLACE to 200-300.
Happy 62nd birthday, Granddad.
Thanks, sweetheart.
I got you this.
A mug. Oh, thank you. What does it say? Beware. If you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of hospitalization from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Okay, class, our first lesson is math. 0 plus 0 plus 0 equals...
One heck of a great deal.
The math is simple at Matt Blatt Kia. Put 0 down, pay 0 interest, and make 0 payments for 90 days on every new Kia in stock. Or get up to $8,000 off MSRP on every 2023 EV6 GT in stock. Stuck in a loan or lease? Matt Blatt Kia can get you roll leased so you can drive your new Matt Blatt Kia with 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 90 days. And we finance your future, not your past. Even first-time buyers can drive with peace of mind with our exclusive 4-day love it or leave it return policy.
It's gotta be a Matt Blatt Kia.
With approved credit, not all will qualify. Go to mattblattkianj.com for complete details or 888-505-6670. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer, except for licensing, registration, and taxes through Cap 1. Excludes EVs. 36 months at $27.77 per thousand to Tier 1 customers. Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, and now on Route 37 in Toms River.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper, and you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
At Bank of America, there's one question we ask our customers to learn what matters most. It's not, how much money do you have? It's not even, how much money would you like to have? No, our question isn't about money. It's about you and what you want to achieve. Because that's what's most important. So, what would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
When you can't stop, there's Vicks VapoRub. Vicks VapoRub sends powerful medicated Vicks vapors right to the source of your... so you can experience cough relief and breathe easier. Generations of families have trusted Vicks VapoRub to help relieve the worst cold symptoms. So next time you have a cough, reach for the Vicks VapoRub. Vicks VapoRub. Cough relieving is believing.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal. Get a $50 gift card, good for Yori's Waterfront Restaurant in Wildwood, New Jersey for just $25. That's right, grab a $50 gift card for just $25. Get this great deal starting Friday at 9 a.m. at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, this deal will sell quickly. For more information on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com. That's seizethedeal.com.
You're listening to Josh Hennig.
GameNight here on 97.3 ESPN, being brought to you by Jenkins Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. With the seasons changing, do you know if your air system is ready for the change from summer to fall? Well, give Jenkins a call and find out how you can reduce your electric bill thanks to a Mitsubishi ductless system or a new system from American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Find out when you call 609-641-6440 how Jenkins Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning can save you money of 25 to 30% on your electric bill. Just call Jenkins at 609-641-6440 and visit them online at jenkinsandsons.com. Josh, I'm hanging out with you on a Wednesday. Well, Game Night's back on Wednesday after being not on Wednesday for a few weeks. And that means Dave Weinberg is back for a Weinberg Wednesday here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Dave, welcome back into the normal slot. How you doing after Labor Day weekend?
Doing well, Josh. How are you? A little hot, but other than that, I'm okay.
Yeah, and this Saturday was actually a really nice day, and apparently the heat held off until Tuesday and Wednesday, and now it's all buggy outside.
Yeah. Hopefully it's going to cool off again soon.
It's supposed to rain on Saturday, so read into that what you will.
Oh, gosh, I'm supposed to go to the Phillies game, darn it. Hopefully it'll hold off.
Well, maybe it'll rain down here and not up there.
Yeah, I hope so.
By the way, Phillies are currently leading 5-0 still in the bottom of the 7th inning. So Zach Wheeler was able to get them to the 7th inning with Dominguez now in the game. So cross your fingers, hope nothing bad happens there. Dave, just a couple thoughts on the Phillies. We'll get to the Eagles from you. Phillies had that monster month of August where they hit all those home runs, and then, they come into the San Diego series, and so far they split 2 after losing 2 out of 3 against the Brewers. What do you want to see from the Phillies down the stretch of this season?
Just a little more consistency. I don't expect them to be as hot as they were in August, but they don't have to be. If they can just be a little bit better, a little more success, a little bit above 500 for the month of September, I think that's going to be good enough to get into the playoffs. And that's pretty much all they need to do, as they showed last year. They're not going to catch the Braves. That's obvious. So just get one of those wild card spots and just roll from there.
When you think about where the Phillies are leading the wild card, that means they would be at home in the wild card round. How much of an important factor do you think that is?
Big, really. I mean, Phillies fans are a pretty loud bunch. I mean, it seems to be a big change from last year. I mean, there's a lot of empty seats last season for most of the year until the playoffs rolled around. And now it seems like those seats are filled for the most part for almost every game. So, and as you know, Philly fans love a winner. And when the Phillies are rolling, the fan base is as good as it gets in Major League Baseball. So, if they can get that home playoff series, that would be great for them.
When you think about the Phillies, Zach Wheeler, another stellar start today. We know what Wheeler brings to the table, but do you have any concerns about the other starters entering the postseason? Because potentially it would be Nola 2, Ranger Suarez 3, and Taijuan Walker 4.
Nola concerns me a little bit. Yeah. I don't know. It's been that way for him the whole year. He just doesn't inspire a whole lot of confidence. There's just seems to be a point in every game where he kind of loses focus or loses his mojo and gives up a big inning. And when you're in the playoffs, you can't afford to do that. I mean, they do have a powerful offense, but that's even been a little bit inconsistent. So they really need Nola to get back on track if they can. Walker, I guess he's lost a little bit of velocity as it's going on for the year, although he still has 15 wins, so you can't argue about that. And Suarez, I guess you have to be concerned, having being, coming off the injured list, that it might not be all the way back, but I guess they wouldn't bring him back if they didn't think he was.
Yeah, you mentioned Suarez. To me, he's an X factor because to me, every team in the postseason has at least one of consequence left-handed hitter. So, like having a left-handed starting pitcher, like whether it's the Dodgers who have, I mean, it's more than Freddie Freeman, but it's Jason Hayward and it's Peralta. A team like the Diamondbacks, they have Corbin Carroll. You have a team like the Brewers, they got Christian Yelich. You got a team like the Cubs, they got Cody Bellinger. So, like, there's always at least one or two guys on all these playoff teams. And then the Braves got Olsen, right? You know, there's always a guy, and I feel like having a left-handed pitcher can help offset some of that threat.
Yeah, but you're only talking about one game in the series, though, right? I mean, you need your right-handers to come through too.
But I mean, if you're a 1-1 series and Ranger comes to the mound, that can't be that bad.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, that it does help to have a left-hander in any rotation, really. I mean, you can't go all righties or all lefties. You have to have some sort of balance, and yeah, Ranger definitely gives them that.
I mean, that's the biggest weapon the Cubs got against the Phillies right now is that their best pitcher is Justin Steele, and he's a lefty. He's a candidate to win the Cy Young. And we know the Phillies, their biggest indictment, well, one of them at least this year, has been the fact that they are a heavy left-handed lineup. Like last night when they had 3-4 lefties in a row and I was pulling my hair out.
Yeah. I'm not sure what Rob Thompson thinks, and a lot of times the way he constructs the lineups, I just don't, Trea Turner being out, and then you put, who do they put in a spot? I forget who it was. Oh, Castellanos.
Yeah, it was horrible.
He hits into 3 double plays. I mean, I just,
Well, funny, they put Bowman there today, and all of a sudden they're scoring runs. Funny how that works.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I thought it was really funny that Turner, takes this leave at 9 months after he signs that big contract. He must have had a heck of a celebration.
It must have been a great night. That's all I can say. It must have been a wonderful night.
There you go.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Trea Turner literally took his paternity leave literally 9 months after he signed his $330 million contract. That's what Dave Weinberg's referring to. So that must have been a wonderful night in the Turner household.
Heck of a way to celebrate. That's right.
Well, I was saying before, Dave, also that Turner's not going to be out long because the series is coming back to Philadelphia this weekend. And since his family, him and his wife live in New Jersey, basically, he's probably going to be back in the lineup Saturday or Sunday. So
yeah, you would think. Yeah, it's not going to be that long of a layoff, that's for sure.
It's not like he's out with an injury. It's just paternity leave.
Right. Correct. Yep.
He ain't giving birth.
Good point.
I'm just saying. I mean, I always thought the paternity leave, not because I'm like, listen, you're a father, have kid, be there for the birth of your child. I'm all for that. But like at some point, it's like, all right, dude, like you're a millionaire. You can hire someone to help your wife. You know what I mean? Like
true. A day or two is plenty. Yeah, I'm with you there. Yes. I agree.
It's not like average people like us, where like it's like we literally have to help the people in our lives. Like these people can hire people to help them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, definitely be there for the birth of your child. I mean, there's no question about that. But after that,
but when
take
when
a day or two and then get back to your team. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, when that 72-hour window is up, get back to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all.
We sound really chauvinistic, but that's the way it goes.
I'm just saying, like, I always laugh because like it's you know who Bill Burr is?
Yes, the comedian.
So I was watching one of his skits, and I can't quote it directly here because he uses some foul language in it. But like, he basically says like he hates the idea of when somebody says, we are having a child, because he's like, I'm not having a child. My wife's doing all the work. I'm over here doing pull-ups in the best shape of my life. He's like, my wife is the one suffering. He's like, I'm not having a baby. She's having the baby. I'm here for support.
That's true. That's basically right. You learn that really quick. Yes.
Of course, he said it much more colorfully than I just did. So
I understand.
Just the way he said it was hilarious because he's just like he was someone was getting mad at him because he said my wife is having a baby instead of we're having a baby, and he's like, I'm not doing anything.
Right. That's true.
So I always think of that when these guys go on paternity leave. It's like hey, be there for your wife, be there for the birth of your child, and then get back to work. Because at that point, it's like, what are you really doing at that point?
Right. What else can you do? That's true. Yep.
Let's switch it over to the Eagles. Dave Weinberg joins us for a Weinberg Wednesday. Extra point columns over at 97.3 ESPN.com. And of course, Dave Weinberg 19 on the Twitter X platform. Dave, I said it before you came on, I know a lot of people are excited for the Eagles to return this Sunday. And I'm not going to go out of my way and say that I think they're going to lose the game, because I don't think they're going to lose. I think they're going to win. But I do think this game is going to be closer than some people think, because you've given Bill Belichick an entire summer to prepare for you. And you've given the Patriots ample time to get ready. And if the Lions last year gave you problems in week 1, you're telling me that the Patriots team that maybe is a little less talented but better coached than the Lions isn't going to give you problems? I have to think that at halftime, this is probably going to be a 1-score game.
Yeah, I'm with you there. What's the line? Like 4, I guess. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots cover that. I mean, I do think the Eagles win, but more likely by a field goal or so, or like you said, a 1-score game. The Patriots are. They've had, like you said, they've had all this time. They've got Bill Belichick on their sideline. It's hard to believe that they would, fall apart, or that the Eagles would be able to dominate them, like you said, with the Lions game last year, which they almost lost. And and week 1 is usually just a lot of strange things happen. You see, I used to be in this pool where you actually you paid $100 for a survivor pool, and you just had to pick one team a week, and you couldn't use the team twice. So I invariably would have 2 entries, and I would use one for like the biggest favorite on the board, and another one for the third or fourth one. And the first one seemed like they would always lose, and I'd be out like after one. I'd be out after like 1, maybe 2 weeks. It just seems like that's the way it is. The big favorites don't always come through in week 1, because you never know what you're looking at. I mean, there's teams that are supposed to struggle that might wind up winning 10 games or 11 games. It's just the way that the NFL is. So you really can't factor in, you can't really be certain of anything, especially in week 1.
Well, it's like college football. It's like, did anyone think Duke was going to crush Clemson on Monday night? Like, nobody thought that. Like, there's always a couple games. Like for example, I thought Colorado would cover the spread. I didn't think they'd win the game. So they're always that first week. I always look at NFL teams and I'm like, these NFL teams don't even play in the preseason anymore. They do nothing the whole month, basically. They just have joint practices. So, like, you're telling me these guys are going to be more up to speed than a bunch of college kids that have been practicing all month? I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah, you don't know you just don't know what's going to happen till maybe like 3-4. You really don't know what you have until like 3-4 games into an NFL season, I don't think.
I would say, 4 is probably a good number, because after 4, it's like, you have an opportunity for teams to get tape on you, and you reacting to them having tape on you, kind of thing.
Right. I agree. Yep.
Dave, we have a question from George in Summers Point chiming in on the text board at 609-403-0973. George wants to know, I have a question for both of you guys concerning the Eagles this year. How do each of you see the season ending for the Eagles? You don't have to give me a number, George says, of wins, but I want to know how you think they will finish up the season overall.
Interesting question, George. You don't want wins? Okay. I think they're going to.
Well, you don't have to give them wins if you don't want
to. All right. I think it's 10-7, maybe 11-6. I do think they win the NFC East, but I don't think they get to the Super Bowl. I just don't. The law of averages just aren't in their favor. Too many things can happen. I think they'll make the playoffs again, which is a heck of an accomplishment, but I just don't think they'll get as advanced quite as far as they did a year ago.
I think the Eagles go 11-6 is in the number I'm on record putting out there, because I think that 2 things will be different from last year, Dave. One, there's no way they are as healthy this year as they were last year.
Correct.
Like, they were so fortunate to have as much health as they did across that team. And I just foresee them somewhere. I don't mean like a season-ending injury, but like, nicks
and bruises. Yeah. Yep.
Jason Kelsey misses a game or 2, or Jalen Hurts misses out a game or 2, or maybe Bradbury or Slay miss 4 games or something like that. Something that's going to be enough, because when you look at the schedule, I look at that middle of the schedule for the bye week, Dave, that, at the Rams, at the Jets, home against Miami, at Washington, home against Dallas. That is not going to be an easy run. I think that, between that and then coming out of the bye with the Chiefs, the Bills, the 49ers, and the Cowboys, and the Seahawks, that section, they're going to have like a game or two losing streak in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think you're right there. There's just no way they're going to replicate last year's success. Like you said, the law of averages just suggest otherwise. They're going to, they were very, very healthy last year and very, very lucky that, that usually just doesn't happen to teams for an entire season. They had all 22 starters basically available for the Super Bowl and the playoffs. Derek Barnett got hurt relatively early, so I don't know if you can really count him or not. But they're just, and the schedule is tougher. You really don't, like I said before, you really don't know what teams are going to do, but on paper, at least, they have a first place schedule. And with that comes, a lot more challenging games than you had last year.
And I agree with you. I think that they win the division. I don't think that's a question at all.
I've heard people keep thinking the Cowboys are going to win it. I don't see it, but I guess they're going to be.
People forget that the Cowboys' schedule is just as hard, if not harder, than the Eagles.
Yeah.
So, first of all, the whole NFC East is playing the AFC East. So you can, I think it's safe to say that both the Cowboys and the Eagles are going to lose at least 1 or 2 of those games.
You would think so. Bills, Jets, yep.
Between the Bills, Jets, and if the Dolphins are healthy, right?
Right.
You're going to lose one of those, at least one of those 3, about 2 of those 3.
You would think,
Dallas ends their season. It's I believe it's at Buffalo, at Miami, and at Washington, like 3 of the 4 games.
Wow.
To finish their year. So good luck with that. You go from the freezing cold in Buffalo in December to the heat of Miami, back-to-back weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas finishes the year 1-3 or 2-2. For goodness sake.
That's not beyond their own possibility. That's for sure. Yep.
Yeah, and by the way, for those who don't know, the last 2 games for Dallas, I just looked it up. Here it is. The last 2 games for Dallas where they go into the bye week, at San Francisco, at the Chargers. Good luck with that.
Yeah, really.
That's even more messed up than the Eagles' schedule. At least the Eagles have a couple of home games heading into the bye week.
Yep.
They just told Dallas, don't come home, don't collect $200, don't pass go on the Monopoly board.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're going to stay out in California for that week, like the Eagles did a few years ago.
Yeah, well, Jerry Jones, he loves an excuse to have an excursion anyway. So
yeah, there you
go. Jerry's all about Jerry. He don't actually care about his football team half the time. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. That was mean. Dave, before I let you go, for the NFL season, Thursday football starts tomorrow night. Are you the kind of person who do you feel the NFL season starts Thursday night, or does the NFL season start when the Eagles play on Sunday?
Oh no, Thursday night. Yeah, I'm a big football fan. I naturally follow the Eagles like everybody does, and have an invested interest in that, as you can tell. But yeah, I'm a big NFL fan, big college football fan. So yeah, for me, opening night is Thursday, definitely. How about you?
I'm all football all the time. So
I got you.
That's why I went to the movies with my dad on Monday, because I realized I'm going to see very little of my family, basically from Thursday to the end of December, between college football and the NFL. So it's when I have that window to spend time with my family, it's all right, family, this is you time.
That's why I was just in Myrtle Beach a couple of weeks ago with my grandkids and stuff. Yep, I'm with you.
Yeah, my dad and I went to see Equalizer 3 with Denzel Washington. So,
how was it?
It was very good, and even my dad, the harsh critic, liked it. So,
oh, good. Just out of curiosity, have you been to the new theater in Rio Grande yet?
That's actually where we went on Monday.
Oh yeah, yeah. How was that? Is that nice?
Oh, they did an incredible job with it. Yeah,
good. Glad to hear it.
It's one of those things where, Dave, you know how it is. You remember what the building was before somebody new moved in, and you can tell the things they did to clean it up and fix things up.
Oh, that's good to hear. Very good to hear. I wish them success.
Yeah, it's the same deal with Stone Harbor. No offense to the people who owned Stone Harbor before, but
right.
the the people who own Stone Harbor also own the one in Rio Grande.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah. That's
you
what I
know,
heard, yeah.
you can tell they're both places. They spent money to fix it. let's put it nice.
Good,
You know,
good.
to put it nicely. So yeah, it's definitely a very cool setup. And yeah, went and saw Denzel Washington basically kill a bunch of people who are trying to kill women and children. So it's always a good
There
time.
you go. Fun for the whole family. I got it.
He's Dave Weinberg here for a Weinberg Wednesday at Dave Weinberg 19 on the Twitter X platform. Extra Point columns over at 97.3 ESPN.com. He joins me each and every Wednesday here on Game Night. Dave, football season is here. Enjoy the game tomorrow night, and we'll talk soon.
You too, Josh. Thanks as always. I really appreciate it. Talk to you next week.
Absolutely. Josh Hennig here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Yeah, Equalizer 3. Definitely enjoyed it. Denzel, another great performance by him. You know, for those who are old enough to remember the Equalizer TV show from like the late 80s, you know, Denzel's version of it is different. It's not a complete difference, but like, you know, the McCall of the Equalizer TV show, I've always described him as kind of like a MacGyver tactician kind of crime problem solver, whereas Denzel's version of McCall is more of like I'm a black ops, the government's greatest secret they don't want you to know about. And literally in each movie, it's like he takes down a human trafficking ring in one movie, and he stops people from stealing, like, you know, government weapons access in another movie. And then in this third movie, he basically, you know, stops like the Italian mob from like taking over a town and like building like a resort and like tearing down the whole town. So like, you know, and just watching the way he goes about in each movie, you know, going about his business, right? The way he goes about operating, and the fact that every movie the poor guy is trying to retire. Like every movie the guy is trying to walk away from that life. That's why I love the phrase he uses in this movie where he says, well, you know, God knows I'm allergic to bad people and bad things. I get his explanation for, you know, why he has to like step in and handle business. But yeah, Equalizer 3, definitely a very good movie, but it's also definitely rated R. So please do not take young children to see it. If you're a parent who doesn't want your kids to see a certain level of mature violence, that's for sure. Josh Hennig here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. All right, we'll check out the text board one more time on the other side. 609-403-0973. That's the text board. Phillies still leading 5-0 in the bottom of the 8th. I believe that's Jeff Hoffman that's on the mound for the Phils, as looks like the Phillies are going to have a meeting on the mound with one out in the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll keep you updated on the Phillies as we continue the Power Hour here on 97.3 ESPN FM and 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Seattle.
Kevin Harlan here from Westwood One. Join me and Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner from Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, ready to kick off the new NFL season. It's Patrick Mahomes and the defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs hosting Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. Join us along with Rich Eisen from the studio as we get the new season underway. Coming up on NFL Kickoff.
Listen to Thursday Night Football on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins at 7:30.
Our locally owned and operated small businesses are the heartbeat of our community, and the 97.3 ESPN South Jersey Industry Aces stand out as leaders in their fields, like Tomorrow's Wellness Center in Northfield. Men, let Tomorrow's Wellness Center help you rise to the occasion. Visit tomorrowswellnesscenter.com.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Paid for by ERC Business Solutions.
Attention business owners. Was your company impacted during COVID? If you had W-2 employees during 2020 and 2021, you may be entitled for up to $26,000 per employee through the Employee Retention Tax Credit program. This is not a loan. You do not have to pay this back. The IRS paid back billions already. We've helped thousands of businesses just like yours, so let us help you. At ERC Business Solutions, we make it simple. We do it all for you, so you won't have to worry about the complex application process. There's absolutely no risk. If you don't get paid, we don't get paid. Most businesses do qualify, even those with no decline in revenues or those that already got PPP. Find out how much you can claim. There's no cost or obligation. A team of ERC specialists are awaiting your call. Call now at 888-449-3604. Get up to $26,000 per employee. Call 888-449-3604. 888-449-3604.
Hey, it's Chief Meteorologist Dan Zarrow, and I'm exploring exciting destinations all around New Jersey, sponsored by the New Jersey Division of Travel and Tourism. We're going to the Gap. You've probably driven by the Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area on Route 80. There are spots along the Delaware River to swim, kayak, and go tubing, waterfalls to admire, and you can hike the 1.2-mile trail to the top of Mount Tammany. The 1,200-foot climb is moderately challenging, but the views are worth it. Find your perfect New Jersey getaway with ideas and a free travel guide at visitnj.org.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We said 1,500 hours.
Dax's hangar flies high thanks to his military precision.
Rob, you copy?
He wants to land some aircraft mechanics, preferably with a military background.
Okay, I wasn't aware of a new timeline.
Cancel. Stand by for new assignment.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The U.S. dollar is under attack, and it's becoming less and less valuable by the day. Hyperinflation and speculation is killing your retirement. Don't leave your money sitting in cash. It's time you diversified and protected your future with physical precious metals. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000 and get your free digital dollar survival kit and learn how you could get up to $1,000 in free silver today. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000 to get your free digital dollar survival kit, and you may qualify for $1,000 in free silver. Advantage Gold is the #1 rated gold and silver company in America. Your future is precious. Protect it today when you call Advantage Gold. Call 800-900-8000 now.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Check with your financial advisor before investing.
That's 800-900-8000.
Hey, this is Josh from 97.3 ESPN. If your air conditioning isn't keeping you cool, or if you're worried about sky-high electric bills, I recommend you call Jenkins Plumbing and Heating today about a new system from American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning or a Mitsubishi ductless system. Take advantage of financing of up to $15,000 from South Jersey Gas or Atlantic City Electric. New AC system can save you 25 to 35% on your AC bill. Call Jenkins at 609-641-6440, online at jenkinsandsons.com.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
One more rep, you got it. 10. Nice work. You're a beast. Thanks, man. I feel better than I have in years. And I gotta tell you, taking Nugenix Total T makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix, that's the testosterone booster TV ads with Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt, right?
Yeah, the patented key ingredient is Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels.
Well, it's clearly working for you. Are they still giving out complimentary bottles to people?
Yes, Nugenix is a great way to increase lean muscle and feel stronger with more energy. And as Frank says, she'll like it too.
I need to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix.
Just send a text. Text BELT to 231-231 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text BELT to 231-231. That's BELT to 231-231. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Booking Games in Ocean Casino Resort this football season. Favorite drinks. Middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go to the Gallery. Go go to Ocean. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Well, the good news is the Phillies still lead 5-0 entering the ninth inning as they come up the bat. So the Phillies look like they are on track. Haven't done it yet. They're on track to finish off this series with a 2 out of 3 games against the Padres. So some good news there for the Phils. And don't forget our conversation with Dave Weinberg today was brought to you thanks to Jenkins Plumbing and Heating and Air Conditioning. One call does it all. No need to call the drain guy and the heater guy and the plumbing guy. No, just call Jenkins at 609-641-6440. You can visit them online at jenkinsandson.com. Well, former Philly Luis Garcia is 15. The Padres down 5-0. So, couple things I want to finish up here on the Eagles. I thought that George Summers Point brought up a very interesting question. And George, thank you, as you always do, for chiming me on the text board. And it's not that, it's not that I don't think the Eagles can get back to the Super Bowl. I think they're more than capable of it on paper. I think when you look around the NFC, you realize that it's really only 3 teams, maybe like 4 teams. It's 4 teams and then just everybody else. It's the Eagles, it's the 49ers, it's the Cowboys, it's the Seahawks. Everyone else is in a completely another category than those 4 teams. And that's why, I say, look, I will not say the Eagles cannot get to the Super Bowl. I won't say that. But the odds are against them, as the Weinberg brought up, because once you already go, the likelihood of you going back is very, very low. It's like the difference between if you place a bet at the roulette table. You place a bet on black versus you put a bet on 7 black. It's a completely different ratio, right? The idea of you going back to the Super Bowl after going there last year, going back-to-back years, is extremely lower than winning the division back-to-back years. And that's kind of what I'm referring to. I'm referring to the reality that if you are an NFL team, the odds are against you. And so, we don't know what injuries may come up this year. We don't know how this schedule will play out. What if a team like Tampa is way better than we expected when you play them on Monday night? What if a team like Los Angeles Rams are better than people expect when you play them on October 8th? What if by the time you get to Buffalo and San Francisco, those 2 teams are better or worse than you think they're going to be? We have no idea fully yet. A lot of these things are still to be determined, right? So I think that's why for someone like me, if you asked me, if you said, Josh, I'm asking you a question. My question is, who do you anticipate is going to be in the Super Bowl? I would say I want the Eagles to be there. I think they can be there, but the odds are against them getting there again. I mean, sure. Do I think that there's a chance you could see Eagles Chiefs again in the biggest game of the year? Absolutely. Is that my pick? No, absolutely not. I think it's more likely that we see, like a Bengals 49ers or a Bengals Eagles matchup. I think this Chris Jones thing is way more complicated than people realize. Chris Jones, for however long he holds out, whether he gets a contract tomorrow or if he gets it, 10 weeks from now, I think Chris Jones holding out is going to hurt the Chiefs a lot because even if he comes back Thursday night, he's not going to be 100%. He's not going to be 100% Chris Jones. I think the Kelsey injury is probably going to linger all year. And I think the Chiefs are going to have a little bit of an issue this year. There's a new bullseye on them. People have new tape on them. And they'll figure out what Jonathan Gannon couldn't in the biggest game of the year. That the Chiefs do have limitations, and if you can limit them, you saw. Look, the Indianapolis Colts beat the Chiefs last year. The Chiefs are not in there. So, you look around the NFL, the likelihood that both the Chiefs and the Eagles are back there is very low. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night. Catch you tomorrow.
Don't miss the Atlantic City In-Water Boat Show. 4 days only. September 7th to the 10th at the Golden Nugget Marina. Free self-parking, live entertainment. Kids under 12 are free. Buy advanced discount tickets at acinwaterboatshow.com.